Hi there, this is Paige, who is Stamp Girl here on YouTube, and welcome to my channel. In this video I'm going to share with you the alternative cards I made using the Stampin' Up! Paper Pumpkin Kit from May 2020 called Kit in Color. It came in this beautiful box, and this is the instruction sheet that came in the box. It shows what's included in the kit. So there were these 4 green card bases, there were 4 rainbows, there were 4 of these bright colored portions of rainbows, and some purple posy card bases, and then there were these fun striped card bases. Also included some clouds, some labels, some vellum pieces, some twine, some little embellishments, and of course some dimensionals and glue dots. I ended up using 1 envelope of each color. I cut it apart to use for the background color. I used all of the rainbows, all of the main card bases. I used all of those bright colored pieces, and I used most of the smaller and medium size clouds. So I still have quite a few things left, but I used most of the main parts for the cards that I'm going to show you. So when I started working on the cards, I started out with the rainbows, and I took one of the rainbow pieces and trimmed it down and cut it in half, and actually got 2 cards out of that. So this background piece is from one of the envelopes that I cut apart, and this is one of the purple posy card bases that I cut apart and cut smaller in size, and then I popped this portion of the rainbow up, added the smaller cloud down at the bottom. These were in my stash. They were leftovers from a previous paper pumpkin kit. I don't recall which one. And then these are the little embellishments that came in this kit. This Oh Happy Day is from the stamp set, and I stamped it on a banner that I just turned to the back side for the white, and then I just put a dimensional at the very end to pop the end up. And then for the inside of the card, just a scrap of the pattern paper. For this one I used the other half of the rainbow. I had a stamp set from, I think the company was called Raisin Boat. It was a little St. Patrick's Day stamp. So I stamped the little pot for the pot of gold, and I pulled out some gold sequins, and these were from a previous Stampin' Up! Paper Pumpkin Kit as well. The rainbow and the pot are popped up with dimensionals. This was a leftover banner from a previous paper pumpkin kit. I used it because it had a gold outline to go along with the gold sequins. Again, I glued it down flat and just popped the very end up with a dimensional. The Sentiment May Luck Come Your Way came from the same set as this. And then this is one of the card bases that I cut apart, layered it with white, and then used the back side of the card base. And this is another piece of the purple posy card base. And then for the inside, just a scrap of the card base. For this card, I pulled out a Sunburst die. I can't remember the company that it came from. I die cut it from the orange paper that came from one of the envelopes, and then I also die cut it from some yellow cardstock from Stampin' Up! Delightful something. I can't remember the name of the color. My mind is blank. Here's one of the rainbows that I just trimmed out from the white background. Here are 2 medium-sized clouds. This one's glued down flat. These 2 are popped up. And then I went over the clouds with the Wink of Stella pen, and then embellished with those little flower-like pieces from the kit. Then I took the negative of these two and put them together for the inside of the card, and then put a white layer on top to stamp or write a message on. For this card, I took the green card base and I just adhered it together so it doesn't open, and then I cut a smaller card base to put on top in the center. This is a full-size rainbow card from the kit. I had some really narrow metallic tape that I put where the stitch line was at the top and the bottom. The clouds are popped up on dimensionals. Again, I went over them with Wink of Stella. I had some narrow glitter tape that I put on the edge, and then embellished with these little blue pieces. You Color My World is a stamp from the Stamps of Life, and it's blank on the inside. This one I used the green card base, and I used a square die to cut out from the front, a square stitch die from Stampin' Up. Here's the medium-sized cloud. I went over it with Wink of Stella. A scrap of paper that was used on this card for the sentiment. And then this one opens up. Let's see if I can get it going. This one opens up like this. And then this was another purple posy card base that I just trimmed down and then rescored for the inside of this. And this is a leftover piece from one of the card bases that I used for a different card. And then I just had some different colored sequins in my stash, and they matched the colors on the colors of the rainbow, so I just scattered them here and there. Whoops. Here's another card where I used part of the green card base and part of a purple posy card base. No, I take that back. This is some purple posy cardstock. Not being a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I don't have access to the cardstock and the new in colors, but one of the colors in this kit was purple posy, and I did have some of that cardstock, so I made use of that. This is a label from the kit that I stamped on, popped it up with dimensionals, and underneath that is a vellum banner, which is also from the kit. The twine is from the kit, and then these little pieces here. Now this card was inspired by a card that my friend Deb Houck sent to me. Hers is much better, but I liked the concept of the card, so I decided to case it. So when you open it up, on the side, here's a piece of pattern paper from one of the envelopes, but this is what I thought was so fun. She had a panel that pulled out like that, and so I did that with purple posy cardstock, and then these are pieces from two different card bases. And then the concept is you can use it like a mini album and put photos in here, and maybe use this as a journaling spot. So I left it blank for now until I decide how to use it. So there's that card. Here's another card where I cut apart the striped card base and put it onto part of a purple posy card base, and just to offset the layers. This is some foil tape I had in my stash, and these are some sequins from Stampin' Up! That I had in my stash, and the pink color matched pretty closely with the pink stripe. This banner is popped up with dimensionals, and this banner is a leftover piece from a previous Paper Pumpkin kit. And then I just edged the banner to make it pop up a little bit from the background with some of the ink that came in the kit, which was called Misty Moonlight, I believe. And then here is the inside, just a plain white panel. It's actually the back side of one of the cards, and then some of that foil tape. And then here's another one where I took the stripe card base and cut it apart. I used a white card base cardstock from my stash. I made a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 card with a top fold, and then I cut about 2 1/4 inches off the bottom so the card will open up like this. And then I used some Stampin' Up! Oval dies. This one was cut from the back side of a green card base, and this one was cut from a scrap of white cardstock. This one, the friend, is a die from the Stamps of Life. I cut it out twice, once from the orange pattern paper from an envelope flap, and then again with some orange foam, very thin foam. Glued them together just to give it a little bit of dimension. And then, hey, and you're amazing, I paired on the card, and then these are some embellishments from the kit. So, hey friend, you're amazing. And then my final 4 cards is where I used the colorful rainbow background. This time I backed it with black to make the colors really pop. This was a portion of a card base. I used one part on this card and one on the next card. The twine from the kit, the little embellishments from the kit. This is some glitter tape that I had in my stash. I believe that's from Queen & Company. I purchased it a long time ago. And then for the inside of the card, I just, where this piece was punched out, this was the scrap. And I just trimmed it down and used it as a frame. The purple posy is light enough to write on, so I just left that as the writing space, layered it with purple posy and black to match the colors on the front. For this card, this is the other side of the purple posy card base. I took one of these cards or pieces and cut it into 3 panels and matted them with black and just spread them out on the purple posy panel backed with black. This is a banner from the kit. I stamped it in black ink, matted it with black, and popped it up with dimensionals. And then some of the embellishments from the kit and some twine. And then for the inside, I did the same thing again with the little leftover piece from where this was punched out. Layered it with purple posy for the inside. Here's another one of those card parts. I just turned it vertical. What I did, I don't know if it shows up, but what I did is I took a clear glitter gel pen and just outline the edges of each of those little arches of color to give some sparkle. And it's matted on black, and then I went over the edge with the glitter gel pen as well. This is one of the large clouds from the kit. I popped that up with dimensionals. This is one of the banners I stamped in Oh Happy Day in black ink, and then I had 4 of these little pink embellishments left over, so I put 3 of them there, and I cut 1 in half and put half there and half down there. And then for the inside of the card, this was a leftover piece from one of these card bases that I believe I used when I made this card right here. So I just used it as my sentiment layer for the inside. I had some of that narrow foil tape that I put where the score line was, and then I used the clear glitter gel pen on the little stripes, just like I did on the front. And then my last card is this one. So then I used the brightly colored piece horizontally and just trimmed it to fit the front of a card base. Here's some of the foil tape from my stash, one of the vellum banners from the kit. This was one of the labels from the kit. I was going to do something different with it and it didn't work out. I had trimmed off this rounded part on each end and then decided to go ahead and flag the end of it. I have them even up at the top, triple looped bow from the twine, some embellishments. The ends of the flag is popped up with dimensionals, and this one is attached to that one, so that's popped up as well. And then for the inside, another one of those card bases that was left over from when I cut that apart. So, and then some more of that really narrow foil tape. So these are my alternative cards. I'll just show them to you one more time. Really like how they turned out. I love this kit. Disappointed that it sold out before it was even mailed out, so that no refills are available. I wish now I would have ordered 2 kits at the same time. But the kit made 12 cards and I made 12 cards myself. Let me know which one is your favorite. Down below I'll leave a link to Deb's channel so that you can check out her cards. I guess in the beginning I jumped right in and forgot to mention that Deb Houck's Crafty Cottage here on YouTube. She and I are doing a little challenge with each other when it works out to make alternative cards to share with each other from the current paper pumpkin kits. I'd like to thank you for joining me. And now I'm off to create.